So, alright, guys, I know it's fucking over, completely over when your day starts with me saying, today we're gonna talk about. I mean, we all know it's over, but um, this channel is pretty much dedicated to a lot more than simply looks and dating. So, uh, be prepared for some quote unquote gender wars content. And to be honest, even this part of town, people like to think that there was this massive conspiracy against women, the patriarchy, which held women back, or else women would have, or else women would have become hypergamous. I mean, which is true. But the truth is, the whole truth is, women were not being held back by a conspiracy of men. They were held back by their own genetic limitations and certain developmental deficiencies of humanity at that point of time. That whole idea of the patriarchy being a conspiracy to hold women back is retarded, and frankly, it's unexpected from people who are supposedly all about genetics being everything. If genetics are everything, then lower cortisol tolerance, then lower physical strength, lower hand-eye coordination, lower the higher neuroticism, and overall lower disagreeability tend to be disadvantages that would uh, prevent you from being an efficient worker in a world which did not have air conditioning, which did not have elevators, which did not have most jobs that you see today. So this is something that I want to emphasize again and again, that genetic determinism is not simply limited to looks and height. It extends to IQ, it extends to how your body functions, it extends to what you can and cannot do as a whole. Men aren't allowed to cry. Oh, who set that system up? Because most men carry that stereotype out. Well, here's the thing: women historically could not work, and men who could work and accumulate resources had an advantage for them. Nature had built a disadvantage into men, which was the huge desire for sex, and women realizing, and this is not me by the way, this is essentially a paraphrasing from Roy Baumeister. Women realized the main thing that they could provide men was sex. So, for that, men would do pretty much everything that was required. And alright, every single man is not born a stoic stone. So a lot of men do have these emotions which they have to hide and store away from women, so they don't realize that they are internally hurting. So they had to realize that if women spotted weakness, they would see them as less worthy mates. And this is proven by research again and again, that women prefer men who are stoic, even women who are feminists. This system was not set up by men, but rather the crude and indifferent nature, but rather the crude and indifferent system of nature. Women literally bully and make fun of men who cry. You literally belittle them instead of helping. I've seen it. So damn dense you can't see. So damn dense you can't see through your hatred for men. Absolutely true. Bingo. Between men and women who oppose toxic masculinity more. Examples like incel icon Andrew Tate, who literally makes a living of demanding young and impressionable men to be better or be stronger, and admit women are capable of. I admit women are capable of belittling men, but let's be so honest. Who has the platform to influence young men? It isn't women, bro. Like, this statement is so infantile and so numb-headed. It can only originate from the mind of a two-digit IQ purple-haired feminist. It genuinely who has stunted development. You know, it makes perfect sense. Not only do these people throw around terms. I mean, I would be called racist. I'm a guy who's from a intermediate caste in India, who would tell you that white people are not the most racist people on earth, and I would get called racist. These people throw around terms which have no meaning, and not only do they throw around terms that they don't know the meanings of, they generally throw around terms that don't even have any meaning. What is this toxic masculinity according to them? This whole toxic masculinity is the behavior that men had to put up to comply to the demands of women. Somewhere along the line in this kind of a discussion, they forget that men are shaped by the expectations of women. Now, moving on to Andrew's message. Now, this has its own problems, but I'll just play it out to you. Yeah, he does say this.
Where they fit into society. I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without values. Society doesn't care about you.
Which by the way is false. If you are born 6'3" and good looking, relatively good looking as Andrew was in his youth, like, damn it, man, like, let's not talk about the fact that, oh bro, he had a chin recession, bro, his jawline, bro. When he was younger, he was far better looking. He was taken care of by 3 girls at the age of 25 when he was homeless and broke. His dad was a Fed. His mom took great care of him. Not everyone is as privileged as this guy. In fact, the whole notion that a man's hard work can pay off can truly originate from the mind of a man who is born into privilege and born with privilege, aka genetics. That's when people believe that your hard work pays off. A taxi driver works hard. A Burger King employee, he works hard. A man who works as a technician in cereals gets in cereals. He works hard. All of these people work hard, but do they get all of that status? It depends on how you look. Ultimately, it depends on how you look.
How useful you are. You have the chance to build yourself up and become a superhero if you're prepared to do the hard work and be indefatigable enough to never.
Oh, if you are able to do the hard work, if you're able to do the hard work, like, bro, 100 hours of hard work from a person who is not born in a way that people want to reward him is worth less than a minute of hard work from a person who is born with the characteristics that people want to reward.
Quit, but if you're going to stand around and wait for a handout, nobody's going to ever respect you. I think that a lot of people have forgotten about how difficult, how competitive it is as a man.
I absolutely agree with this portion. However, people have forgotten that how difficult and competitive it is to be a man. People believe that the system was set up by men, while in truth, the system was set up by people who could set up systems. Women lack this ability to set up systems. It does not mean that women are any less discriminatory. It doesn't mean that women do not have these extremely high expectations higher than those of men. It doesn't mean that if women built the system, then the system might have been even more discriminatory than it is today. Look at 6-year-old girls. They exclude based on God knows what. 70% of women would avoid someone based solely on appearance. Do you think women do not reward people and discriminate against people based on their genetics? Look how they treat autistic fellows. Look how they treat men who are ugly. Right? All of this stuff. And I would move on to the next slide, which is pretty fun. The comment is so infantile because guys like Andrew Tate have a market. They have this platform. Women don't need that platform because women are the reason these men have these platforms.
You feel lost.
Yeah, screw this.
You feel lost. You don't really.
I'm being horrible at using this stick, man. Like, wait a moment.
God-fearing as possible, and I need to work hard to achieve this.
This is another thing with a lot of people who are generally privileged. They tend to have a belief in God because God seems to answer their prayer. With people who are not privileged, God always seems to answer as well, but the answer is never what you want. Like, they cope. It's hilarious how hard some religious people cope, man. Like, it makes no sense. Their life sucks. Their life absolutely sucks, and they believe that God is testing them. The reason guys like Andrew have their whole platform to tell men to improve is because women want these surplus things from men who do not meet their standards. If a man is average height, he essentially has to make 2.5 to 3 times the average income. 5'9" is the average height in the United States. So 5'10", you have to make like $24,000 more. That's not a huge deal, to be honest. But let's say, like, let's meet in the middle. If you are like 5'9", you probably have to make like $100K more dollars than average. So if your average height for a country, then you have to make 3 times the national average income. And while if you are like 3 inches taller than the average height, then you have to make less than 15% less than the average income of the country. And if you are 5 inches taller than the average height of the country, then you have to make essentially half to be decently successful. So women ask for these things from men who do not. The incel icon. Why are those men incel? That's the question. Because women don't physically want them. I'm not going to sell you guys those snake oil solutions. Like, bro, just work hard, bro. Just develop empathy, bro. I'm gonna give you what's the absolute truth. The only solution to all of this is state-sponsored eugenics. Just look at Iceland. When you put people who are attractive and smart on an island, who are geniuses and models and athletes, then the truth is people like to be with each other. They don't hate each other, despise each other, and ask for reparations for your existence. That is the only solution. There's no other solution. There's no other solution like reading feminist literature. There's no solution like working on your personality and your and hard work and shit like that. There's no solution, guys. I'm not telling you guys to stop working hard, but the truth is, a lot of you should just accept that maybe it was not meant for you, it was not on the cards for you, and live for yourself. That's the best way to live. If you are not making significant changes to your appearance via plastic surgery, then probably you should just live for yourself. A man who has no reason to live for himself has no obligation to go on and live for others. Working hard and making money for the specific reason of attracting women, it's exactly that. Just follow Schopenhauer's advice. And he is really one of those people whom you need to read up and learn about if you want to know your place in life and act accordingly. So see you guys in the next one.